What's going on, clever investors? Cody Sperber here, and I wanted to go live and have a conversation with you guys and talk about something with all the uncertainty and all the challenges going on in our environment right now. I wanted to give you some motivation so that way a little pep talk, a little pick me up, so that way you can attack your real estate investing business and get out there and just continue to crush it. All right. So first off, thanks for being here. It's been crazy. It's been absolutely crazy. The last few months have been nuts. And I really got to thinking about this message I wanted to share with you guys today about life not being fair, which we all know, right? We've heard that a million times. Life not being fair, but knowing that we have to continue to move forward. Because here's the reality, right? Here's what we're dealing with. And this hasn't changed since the day I got into my real estate business. It's just been a different situation or a different story or a different hurdle or a different challenge. But from day one, no matter what level of success I made it to, there's always been hurdles and challenges and obstacles and pain and stress and anxiety. But on the other side, there's also big profits and freedom and control. So I just want to share some things that I've been going through, some things that I've been feeling. Maybe you guys can relate to this, right? Life's not fair. It's never going to be a level playing field where everybody's treated fairly, or, just because you're a good guy or a good gal, you're going to get the shot or get the opportunity. People aren't just going to walk up to you and hand you your dreams. Your bank account's just not magically going to fill up when, you wish for it or you hope for it. We know how this business works. There are certain skills and capabilities we got to develop, and sometimes as we're trying to master them, there's a lot of other hurdles and challenges getting thrown at us along our journey. And we just have to constantly realize there's always going to be competition. There's always going to be somebody out there that's trying to get ahead of you. They're lying to you. They're potentially stealing from you. They're pushing you around. They're laughing behind your back. They're trying to abuse you or abuse the situation and take advantage of it. This isn't going to change. And winners in this business have a bounce back spirit. Winners in this business are constantly looking at those breakdowns, looking at those moments. Even if it sucks, man, I can't tell you how many times I've been taken advantage of. How many times I made a mistake or I got stuck in a bad deal. There was this one property, I'll never forget it. It's on Georgia. The street was called Georgia. And I got stuck in a bad hard money loan. And I remember the pain and the anxiety that caused. I lost like $30,000 or $40,000 on that deal. I had a partnership go bad one time with this lady named Deanna. We were doing this short sale pre-foreclosure business, and it fell apart and she stole a bunch of money from me. I've been in situations where I put a house under contract and the seller tried to back out, and next thing you know, I'm in a lawsuit. There's been hurdles and challenges all along the way. But every time there was a breakdown like that, every time, I grew, I became stronger, I became wiser, I increased my skills and capabilities. I was able to, come out of that moment realizing like, wow, I get paid a lot of money to solve problems. I can't stay stuck here in that negative mindset, in that environment where I'm defeated. I have to bounce back and I have to get back at it and I have to learn from this and I got to keep going. Look, coronavirus just happened. It was like the real estate world just stopped, right? Everybody and everything froze. And everybody was so scared. And April and May sucked. They sucked, right? Like my projects were going sideways. The vendors that I was using was going sideways. I had, over a dozen rehabs going. Those all went haywire. All of my escrows fell apart. There was a lot of challenges. But guess what? Even though, April and May sucked, I'm already on track to do over I have $183,000 in profits in escrow right now that will close over the next 30 days. 9 deals over the last 2 weeks, I would say, came to fruition. They're now in escrow. I'm waiting for closings on them. And I can't wait. It's like, thank God I didn't allow the last 2 months to defeat me where I gave up or changed directions or second guessed myself or said, oh man, maybe it's never going to come back. Maybe the marketing's never going to work again. Or, what if I am not good enough for this business? Maybe I should just quit. Right? Those thoughts have to leave your mind, and you have to realize that it's your consistent habits that you're creating right now that will take you to the promised land. That the marketing does work, you just have to stay consistent and stay at it. That the sellers, right, there's certain skills we got to learn in this business. Right? What is an important skill? Talking to people. Understanding, man, we've all as a community just went through this crazy experience being on quarantine and being on lockdown, and now we're dealing with heavy racial concepts. People are in pain right now. They need people to show up and to help them solve their problems. Help them understand that they have options, and that, I know for me, I'm not just showing up with one tool in my tool belt. I'm hoping that you guys were using this downtime to learn and go back. I keep telling you guys on my channel, go back and refresh yourself on how to do creative real estate transactions like subject to, like wraparound mortgages, like seller carrybacks. I had a deal right now. I was just talking to one of my acquisition reps, and he was like, I got a guy, he owns the house free and clear. He wants $180,000 right around there, but he owns it free and clear. OfferPad actually had an offer on the property right before coronavirus, and 3 days before closing, they canceled the contract and walked away. And so now the guy's desperate. He had a vision of buying an RV and traveling the world in his RV. And I'm like, wow, there's so many ways to structure that deal. We can go with all cash. We can come with creative terms. He could be the bank. He can carry it back. We started, the guy was like, well, how do I approach it? I'm like, well, we got to first understand what RV the guy wants to buy and where he's going to go when he gets the RV and how much money does he need down in order to buy the RV. And, what are his goals? So that way we can show up with multiple options to say, hey, look, we can cash you out. Here's the price, or we can give you this amount down. We can make you payments. And I'm pretty sure we're going to end up getting that deal where, I'm guessing he's probably going to take the creative terms offer, and now we have an awesome new rental. If you run the mortgage calculation on that, all in, if we paid him the 180, let's say I went to him and I said, look, we'll give you 20 grand down and I'll pay you 180,000 for the property. We'll take that $160,000 balance, just amortize it over 30 years, but balloon it in 10. So that way there's a sunset on this relationship. Balloon it in 10. By the time you look at the PITI, that's about $680 to $700 a month, all in. Well, rents in the area are $1,500. And if I do a lease option on the back end, I could probably get $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 down as an option deposit. And if the rents are $1,500, but my all-in to the guy is $700, that's sweet cash flow. These types of deals are out there right now, and I want to give you so much encouragement and just say, look, despite what's going on in the environment right now, the best thing that you can do is to create financial independence and build wealth for yourself and your family. That way, if you're inspired to go and help a cause like, Black Lives Matter, then get out there and be able to write that check, or have the time freedom to be able to go and volunteer. If you want to help your church out more, if you want to help your community out more, best thing you can do is step one is get financially independent. So that way you're empowered, right? Because it's a great feeling when you can cut a check. One of my big things is education for underprivileged children. You guys have probably seen some of my other videos. Last year, we did over $1.3 million for underprivileged children in Chandler, Arizona. This year, even though with coronavirus, we're trying to match that same donation. It's the greatest feeling in the world when your real estate business is empowering you to be able to do that stuff. And it starts with realizing that there's always going to be a hurdle. There's always going to be a challenge. There's always going to be an obstacle. But it's your spirit, your bounce back spirit, that makes all the difference. Those things won't go away. Every new level will be a new devil. I promise you. I promise you. I've been at a lot of levels, and the way I react to the challenges is what's changed, not the challenges themselves. Do you understand what I'm saying to you guys right now? Think about what's about to come down the pipeline. People are now coming out of quarantine. Sellers who used to think that they knew everything about real estate and there was all these real estate agents contacting them to, and they were at the top of the market and they wanted full price, are now starting to second guess themselves. They're starting to look around the economy and go, man, there's some trembling going on. There's some challenges out there. Maybe I should listen to this guy, even though I don't want to, like that seller in Maricopa. Hey, I don't want to take less than the 180 that I want, but I will get creative with you and I'll carry back the paper. Or I will allow you to step into my mortgage and start making the payments. Think about that. Creative real estate is going to open up. What I'm saying is it's going to open up over the next 24 months. You better pay attention, because these are those moments. I made so much money in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Tens of millions of dollars. I did not think that I would have another opportunity like that, but it's starting to form right in front of me. In the next 24 months is going to be a beautiful thing to be in real estate. So even though there's some pausing because of the quarantine, we're starting to come out of it and watch the market explode. Watch creative real estate investing make a ton of people new millionaires. It's happening and it's on its way. Yeah, so that was it. That's my pep talk. Stay in the game, stay focused on your goals. Nobody's going to hand it to you. Don't allow your self-limiting beliefs to get in the way. Don't allow other people's opinions to get in the way. Just stay focused. Focused. Just stay focused. That was kind of right. All right, so how do I read comments? That's how you read comments. You touch the screen, Sperber. Slow going for me. I need encouragement. Just wish my confidence was better. You want to know? Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell all my students. In the beginning, you're not gonna have a lot of confidence. That's totally normal. I didn't. My mentor didn't. All the successful people that you ever see up on stages getting awards or getting paraded around because they're deal makers now, they all started at the same place that you did. And the reality is, how you get confidence is stop looking at the entire picture in its entirety. That's too overwhelming. It feels like you're drinking from a fire hose. Don't do it in its entirety. Instead, just take it in these little bite-sized chunks and realize there's certain skills you got to master. And if you just stay focused on that, you'll be okay. Talking to people is one of the best skills. I have this out in front of me because every time I make a phone call, I always have my what and how questions with me, right? These are simple questions. Things like, what's happening in your life to make you want to sell your house to me here today? What are the biggest challenges that you're facing? What happens if you don't sell to me? What are your other options? How would selling to me affect maybe your relationship with your wife or your husband? You know, what do you plan on doing once you move out? Where do you plan on going? What are our next steps? How would you like me to proceed? Right? These what and how questions are so important because what you realize is you don't have to be good at sales. You don't have to be the slickest person. You don't need to know every answer to everything. Especially when you're new, you're not going to. But you do need to be able to connect with somebody. You do need to ask good questions and just allow them to talk and to tell you how to do business with them. I told you guys in another video, I got my first deal, which was a game changer for me because I was authentic. I wasn't a slick salesperson. I wasn't pushy. I didn't have an agenda. Heck, I probably told the guy 3 or 4 times, I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm probably not the right person for you. It was almost like the reverse, right? It was like all of a sudden he was selling me on, yeah, you are. You're better than you think. So I was authentic and I was enthusiastic. And I asked a lot of questions, right? That's it. I just kept asking questions, and over the conversation, they opened up. And before you know it, I had the deal. So talking to people, your paperwork, lean in on your paperwork, man. Do not neglect just figuring out how to understand your paperwork, how to manipulate the terms of a contract. There's like 9 or 10 terms, right? Terms that you need to know about. Price is just the main term. But what about inspection period? What about closing costs? What about who pays the closing costs? What about where the closing occurs? What about, other escape clauses? What about, whatever. So look at your paperwork, master it, know how to manipulate the terms, and then know how to explain it to people. Paperwork, super, super important. Strategies, all right? Don't get too overwhelmed by the strategies, but which strategy are you trying to do right now? If it's wholesaling, right? Don't worry about rehabbing. Don't worry about buy and hold real estate. Don't worry about commercial. Don't get on sidetracked by all these other bells and whistles. Just stay super hyper focused, building your cash buyers list, and constantly out there looking for deals. All right? So if it's wholesaling, just stay focused on your strategy. Somebody asked, where do I get the paperwork? Brian, what I'll do after this video is over, I'll pin a comment down in the comment section down below, and I'll pin the comment and I'll give you some free contracts. These are the exact same contracts that I use in my business. They're yours for free. Check them out, and I would recommend you taking them and getting them checked out by a local attorney. That is my education disclaimer on that one. But they're the ones that I use, and I use them in about 7 different states, and I've never had an issue. They're great paper. They're investor-friendly contracts built by my attorney. I probably paid $4,000 or $5,000 total for all my paperwork, and they're yours for free. All right, so check those out. But yeah, master those skills and think of it as one step at a time. How do you run a 1,000-mile race? One step at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's like after Japan was leveled after World War II, how do we rebuild this city? One building at a time. Kaizen, right? It's just one step at a time. And what happens is those little micro commitments, those little steps start to build, and that's where the confidence comes from. And all of a sudden, you're going to look around, and you're going to go, man, I'm still alive. I'm still surviving. I'm getting pretty good. Maybe you don't have a deal yet, all right? Maybe it's not happening on your time frame, but it will happen as long as you stay consistent. Those skills will stack. And then the last thing that you got to do that I really urge you to do is get plugged in. Get plugged in. You got to get plugged into the local deal makers, the local wholesalers, the local real estate agents, the local hard money lenders, the local closing agents. So many people miss this important piece. You are one relationship away from a paycheck. You're one relationship away from having everything just start to click. That's it. So get plugged in. Put yourself out there. Be authentic. Be enthusiastic. And just go for it. I promise you, you're going to do great. If I can do it, you can do it. All right. This one's getting a little long, so I'm going to hop off. I have not done a live on YouTube in a really long time, so I felt the message was there. It's important for you to stay focused and stay motivated. There is a tremendous amount of uncertainty out in the market right now. Whenever there's uncertainty like this, whenever there's pain, whenever there's people losing their jobs, whenever there's people having health issues, there's always going to be people looking to sell their house. And they're looking for good people like you to show up on their doorstep and provide them the housing solutions that they're looking for. So be bold. Fortune favors the bold, and get out there and take massive action and let me know how I can help. If you need those contracts, click the pinned comment down below. And if you got something from this, smash the like button for me. If you're watching this as a replay, I appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Cody Sperber, the Clever Investor, signing off for now. Take care. Comb your hair. We out.